I think the year just past, growth in the developed world has been quite aligned in most cases, but it's been much lower than expected and has been lower than the potential for most economies as well. What stands out is how poor the UK has actually done relative to its peers. This is a function of the uncertainty of Brexit, but also the fact that the consumer is beginning to spend less because of the amount of debt that's in the economy. From an investment point of view, that means we have to be very careful that companies are not looking too expensive relative to what they can earn in a slow growth environment. And so it's all about keeping your discipline and making sure you don't pay too much. There are not that many good opportunities in the UK as far as we can see relative to the world at this particular time. I think when we come to the point of reviewing last year, obviously we couldn't match the returns from 2016 because the trust was very, very strong indeed. And in the year just past, we have had the headwind of slightly stronger sterling, particularly against the dollar, which we didn't have in 2016. But it's not really been macro issues that have held the trust back. Most of the stocks have performed pretty much in line with expectations. It's just the markets have been much stronger than we thought, and it's been led by things like technology, in which Murray International only has a very small representation. Trading activity in the trust last year was quite significant in 2016 because we had been moving away from some of the consumer staple names and things that had done very well. And so trading activity has dropped off in the year just past. We've only added a couple of new holdings, and it's been much lower than normal because of the increase in previous years. The Brexit situation in the UK is very interesting from an investment point of view because there is no context in which to put it. We've never been there before. But we suspect that a lot of the damage has already been done in as much as companies have not been able to plan for the future. We've seen a dry up of foreign direct investment coming into the UK because of the uncertainty. And I think a lot of companies have already made contingency plans. So it makes for a very opaque outlook if you're running a company, and also in terms of investment potential in the next 2 or 3 years. I think when you get into a period such as 2017, we know that valuations are extremely extended because most of the last few months of gains have all been about multiple expansion in the market. It's not been backed up by dividends or indeed earnings growth. So you're always very concerned at a period like this that sentiment could suddenly change from being positive to negative and capital could be destroyed. So you have to be very careful, you have to be very disciplined, and you have to follow your process diligently at a time like this and make sure that you don't get distracted by things that are going on in the market and keep following the process of looking for quality companies, trying to find decent value even when the markets look very expensive.